This last week has been quite packed with news and updates, not just with the Minecraft Mob Vote Showcase, but we also had stuff like Dream's face reveal and the first trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Now normally, the trailers for the mob votes release the week of Minecraft Live, but this year they were shown off a week earlier than normal, probably to give people more time to decide their vote, which is smart. The names of the mobs were leaked a little while ago on Twitter, but now we've seen what all the mobs look like and what they do. I've made separate videos on each mob, check them out if you want, but you won't really need to because in this video, I'll be discussing everything we know about all three choices, and which mob I will be voting on. If you end up enjoying this video, like and subscribe, and let's get on with the show. Each of the trailers released give us a simple basis on each of the mobs, but there are also articles that give us extra details. The first mob you can vote on is the sniffer. The sniffer is a mob that will dig up ancient seeds from the ground, which can allow you to plant new exotic types of plants. And like turtles and frogs, these mobs will lay eggs. At first I thought the sniffer was an underwater mob, but I may have misinterpreted that. The article for the sniffer states that you can find sniffer eggs inside of chests in underwater ruins, and it implies that they don't naturally spawn. They're basically a species that have been trapped in hibernation for who knows how long, and it's up to you to bring them back into the world. The second mob you can vote on is the rascal. The rascal is a mob that tries to play hide and seek with you. If you manage to find the same one 3 times, it will give you a reward. The rascal will spawn underground, but its exact spawning conditions are not fully confirmed. The trailer shows it inside of a mineshaft, but it could just be there for show. The article for the rascal states that they'll spawn slightly below Y0, and it guarantees that the rascal won't lead you to the deep dark, unless you don't vote for it. But that's all it really says about the spawning conditions. The trailer shows the rascal giving Agnes and Jens an enchanted iron pickaxe as a reward, and some people were assuming that this would be the only thing it gives you, but it was confirmed by Jeb that it will give you many different items, and they're looking for feedback on what it could give you. The third and final mob you can vote on is the tough golem. The tough golem is a mob that you need to craft, but that's pretty obvious, and I don't even need to mention what block you need. The tough golem is basically a statue that displays an item in its hands. If an item drops on the ground, the tough golem will walk over to the item, pick it up, and walk back over to where it was, but only if it's not holding anything already, I think. The article for the tough golem states that it's completely passive, which means it's not hostile, and if you include a wool block in its construction, it will wear a matching cloak, so basically you can dress it up in a similar fashion to llamas. So those are the 3 mobs you can vote on. What are my thoughts on them? Well, I think they're all pretty great. The sniffer has a really cool design, and the fact that it's a prehistoric mob that you have to rediscover and repopulate is a pretty interesting idea, and seeing how it can offer new kinds of plants is also kind of cool. The rascal offers a pretty cool mechanic that I think would be fun to mess around with, and it also adds a little more life underground. The tough golem would add some interesting ideas for builds and ways you could set up your base, and they also give tough a nice use. Overall, this has probably been one of the best mob votes so far, if not the best, and I'm perfectly fine with any of the 3 mobs being added to the game. But that being said, I can only vote on one mob, and so which will that be? For right now at least, my main choice is going towards the rascal. The sniffer is great, but if the only thing it offers are new plants, then I'm not too keen on that, unless they have some special use. But I think it was confirmed that they'll only be used for decoration, so I don't really see much use for that. The tough golem was my original choice, but that was only because it sounded the coolest out of the 3, and while the ideas they showed off are cool indeed, it's not exactly the most useful thing, and I'm surprised I'm saying that since last year I voted for the copper golem. The only downside to the rascal that I've seen people bring up is the possibility of it not being useful in the late game, and while that could be true, the other 2 mobs aren't really any different. The only thing the sniffer and tough golem are useful for is decoration, and that's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong, but to me, that's not really a good reason on its own to vote for them. Aside from decoration, the only other reason I see anyone voting for the sniffer is because it's cute, and I mean, you're not wrong if you think that, but a wise man once said, don't judge a book by its cover. The rascal actually offers a new mechanic that could be interesting, and even if the reward isn't worth it, I don't think it really needs to be. I see it as some sort of minigame that you come across during your journey, similar to the minigames you find in Mario or Zelda games, And if the mob were to only spawn in mineshafts, that would actually be better because mineshafts are like a maze, which makes them an easy place to hide, and it would give you another reason to explore them. However, that's just my opinion, and if you don't agree, it's all good. And I don't really care much anyways, because like I said, I'm fine with any of the 3 choices winning, and from what I've seen, it looks like most of the Minecraft community is in favor of the sniffer. It's not even a competition, so it's most likely gonna win, unless the vote gets rigged again. At this point, I'm kind of used to my choices losing. There's only been 1 year so far where the thing I voted for actually won. 2019 was the first year I voted, and that year I voted for the mountain biome because I felt like it would make mountains more exciting and cool, and lucky for me they won. In 2020, I voted for the Iceologer because out of the 3 choices, I thought it was the coolest, literally, and it was expected to win that year, but then someone had to step in and rig the vote in favor of a stupid glowing squid that shouldn't even exist, but oh well. In 2021, I voted for the copper golem, which I already mentioned. I just thought having a new kind of golem would be cool, and in this case, copper would be getting an extra use, so that was cool. I also liked its mechanics, and the fact that you could use it for decoration, and it also would have come with copper buttons, which is neat. But unfortunately for me, it lost to the LA somehow, but I guess the LA is cool, and the Lord ads is actually quite interesting. But yeah, it's been 3 years since the last time something I voted for won, and at this point it may be at least 4 years until the thing I vote for actually wins. But like I said, I'm kind of used to it. On the bright side, regardless of what wins, there is still a lot of exciting stuff to look forward to with the announcement of the next major update. I made a theory video discussing what I think the theme of the update will be, and by the way, thanks for all the recent support on that video. And I also made a video discussing a possible leak for 1.20, though it's most likely fake. But if you haven't watched those videos already, I recommend checking them out. Speaking of the next update, my main theory is that 1.20 will be an end update, but looking at the mob vote choices this year, I might be having second thoughts. Each of the mob choices this year share one major trait, and that trait is that they add some sort of new lore to the world of Minecraft. The sniffer is a prehistoric animal that was clearly more dominant in a more ancient time, and you literally have to explore ancient ruins to uncover their eggs, which are basically the equivalents of ancient artifacts. The rascal is basically some sort of weird miner that you find wandering underground, and the way it's designed implies that it may have been part of some sort of humanoid species that was once prevalent. And then you have the tough golem, which is made from a material that you find in the deep depths of the world, and most ancient stuff you usually find deep underground like the ancient cities and the end strongholds. Why does any of this matter? Well, it seems that all these features could be connected to the theme of the next update, and there's only one thing that would perfectly fit that slot, and that thing is archaeology. If you don't remember, archaeology was something that was first announced back in 2020, and it was originally supposed to be part of Caves and Cliffs, but when the update got split, archaeology was postponed indefinitely, and nothing was said about it since then. We only got to see a tiny fraction of what archaeology would be like, and basically involves finding buried or ruined structures and digging up artifacts or other random things, and it was also hinted that they would possibly update older structures too. I'm not going to spend so much time explaining archaeology, but overall, the mob vote choices this year connects really well with the archaeology that was shown off in Minecon 2020, so it's definitely possible that we may see that in 1.20. I might make a video soon discussing some final predictions for Minecraft 1.20, because there are some ideas out there regardless of how likely they are that are worth mentioning, so stay tuned for that. And with that, we've reached the end of the video. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and if you want to see more stuff from me, like and subscribe, and turn on the bell to be notified when I upload a new video. I would truly appreciate it. This is the part where you click off the video.